Hello and welcome to the Côte d'Azur for round 8 of the 2022 Formula SimRacing World Championship, the Azure Grand Prix. My name is Edward Hunter and here's all of the breaking news. Colin Spork was penalised 5 positions at the Japanese Grand Prix due to this first lap incident. The penalty drops the championship leader from 2nd down to 7th. Lauren Kiersmakers was replaced in his Edge eSports car by George Chatzipantelis as Danny Van Den Eet filled in for a still recovering Carlos Martin at Unicorns of Love. Arnage competition manager Adam Pinfez also stood in for Roberto Pignataro, who was unable to race due to work commitments. Finally, Royal Blue Racing have announced that they'll be making their debut in the World Championship at round 9 in Indianapolis. Currently they will field a single car for British driver Matthew Williams. For the second race in a row, Alex Siebel took pole position for Red Bull. Spork made a strong getaway from the front row, but Siebel squeezed his title rival on the outside and maintained the lead on the run-up Beau Rivage. Meanwhile, Damien Skovron was able to get the jump on Janos Braksok and Jan Grankvist. Chatzipantelis spun approaching Mirabeau, and the Edge driver was lucky not to be collected as he did a 180. His teammate Jake Dennehan found Sander Callas trying to go round the outside of him at Lowe's hairpin. Spork was in a hurry to snatch the lead and tried to go up the inside at La Rascasse unsuccessfully. On lap 2, however, the trap was sprung, and Spork dived from even further back, catching Siebel out and allowing the Unicorns of Love driver through. Adam Rainey's race came to a screeching halt on lap 15 after a massive crash at the swimming pool took the British driver out of the race. Pinfez was in the midst of a battle with his countryman Zolt Zux and executed a well-judged move at the chicane to get into 13th position. Dennehan was then disconnected from the race whilst running in a strong 9th. Spork then pit from the lead on lap 22 for medium tyres, re-emerging 4th. Grankvist also pit for softs and was catching Callas when the two came to grief on lap 27 as the Super Venturi went too deep into turn 1 and both cars lost their front wings. By lap 33, Spork had caught Hoyer and finally found an opening when the German got a slow run out of Saint-Devote. Spork tried to go around the outside at Massenet, putting the burst car offline into Casino Square, and the Dutchman didn't need a second invitation to slot up the inside through Mirabeau into 3rd place. At the same corner on the following lap, he tried the move again, this time on Dennis Jordan, who saw it coming and defended. Both cars then cut the Nouvelle chicane as Jordan desperately tried to help out his teammate. Then there was calamity on lap 35 when Spork went up the inside at Saint-Devote. Jordan refused to yield and the two came together disastrously. Hoyer tried to speed through the accident but became part of it, flipping him upside down and sending Hoyer into a series of terrifying barrel rolls before landing right side up. The 3 wounded warriors crawled back to the pits. Siebel now had a significant lead as Jan Vosnicker ran second from Braksok and Skovron, with Hoyer, Spork and Jordan slowly catching them. Tom Oldenmenger was putting pressure onto the ailing ground effect of Callas at the chicane, and a few laps later Braksok tried to attack Vosnicker, but could not complete the move. With the concertina effect, Spork saw an opportunity to squeeze around the outside of Hoyer in a brave but risky move. The burst driver left space, but only just enough for Spork to take 4th into the back. Vosnicker had pit, promoting Braksok up to 2nd. Spork then pulled his favourite party trick at Rascasse to relieve Skovron of 3rd place. Braksok was struggling on his tyres, but despite a mistake in the tunnel, he defended the inside at the Nouvelle chicane brilliantly to keep the championship leader at bay. Even Spork's tried and tested dive bomb at Rascasse failed to make an impression on the pink Arnage machine. With 7 laps to go, Spork got another run through the tunnel and this time braked as late as he could on the outside to finally overcome Braksok and retake 2nd. Unfortunately for Spork though, Siebel was now long gone in the lead. 2 laps later, Skovron tried to go around the outside of Braksok at Saint-Devote but instead hit the barrier and spun into the Arnage car. Ironically, Skovron cleared the way for his teammate Hoyer to get alongside Braksok through Rivage. He threaded his way past the pink car and the barrier to take the podium for himself into Massenet. Braksok was now vulnerable, and Jordan picked his moment to attack through the chicane, taking the outside line to force the Hungarian wide on exit. Vosnicker was waiting in the wings and instinctively followed Jordan through in an opportunistic move around the outside. Ivan Leonov was less successful in his attempt, however, losing the rear end as he slid up the inside into Mirabeau. Then the Netrek spun again, this time trying to go around the outside of Braksok with the DRS, leading the Bulgarian to crash into the wall. This let Skovron through for another try at passing Braksok on the final lap. This time he thought better of it, setting himself up for a run through Rivage. Braksok stuck to the middle of the road and only just held on with his worn tyres. But up front, it was a dominant win for Siebel to take victory in the Principality. Spork fought his way back up to a hard-fought second to limit the damage, and Hoyer somehow completed the podium despite his bucking Bronco ride. Jordan recovered to 4th, Voznica was best of the rest in 5th, Braxok narrowly beat Skoveron to 6th, Leonov trundled home just behind Robin Pansar, and Pinfest completed Arnage Competition's first ever double top 10 finish. Zux was the final driver home in 11th, but then the list of casualties was made up by Oldenmenger, Callas, Noah Roivers, Van den Eet, Grankvist, Chatsapantelis, Denahan, and Rainey. With only 2 rounds remaining, Alex Siebel has now cut the gap to Spork down to just 8 points after winning 3 races on the bounce. It sets things up nicely for a thrilling end to the title race. The battle for 3rd is also hotting up, with just 17 points separating Jordan, Voznica, Roivers, Braxok, and Hoyer. Can Siebel win 4 races in a row to snatch a championship lead, or will Spork regain his momentum? Tune in to the United States Grand Prix in Indianapolis on the 7th of August to find out. From me, Edward Hunter, and from the Côte d'Azur, it's goodbye.